December is upon us, the final month of 2020, thank goodness. With December comes a bunch of new games, some really awesome games. One very, very big game included in here as well. In this video here, we're going to be looking at the games to look out for in December 2020. There's actually some really good stuff in here, so let's dive in and take a look at them. Hey folks, if you're a new viewer of the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I make new videos like this every single day on the channel, looking at the latest PlayStation news. Today we are taking a look at the new game releases for December 2020. These are all in numerical order as well. Numerical order as well. Going from date range, so from the 1st of December all the way through to the 31st of December. Well, there's nothing coming out on the 31st of December, but this goes through order of when they're releasing, so makes it a little bit easier for you guys to figure out which ones you're going to be wanting to check out. The first game on the list is Kronos Before the Ashes. Now this is interesting because I didn't know this existed. This is a THQ Nordic published game, but it's actually a prequel to Remnant from the Ashes, which was a third-person, I guess, I don't know, it was a third-person hack and slash, but it also had like shooting elements in it as well. A game that came out a couple of years ago. Cool to see that they've actually gone back to this one a number of years later. Gameplay-wise, it doesn't look quite as fantastic as the previous game did, but I really enjoyed Remnant, so having a game that is a prequel to that game, I'm kind of looking forward to. This one actually looks more Soulsy than that game did in terms of slow, methodical hack and slash gameplay, but it's interesting. They've also got a really cool launch or announcement trailer here as well, which is like a combination of live action and gameplay. Really neat trailer. You should go check this one out if you haven't seen the trailer for it. That alone is worthwhile looking at. Yeah, so this has potential to be a really neat game as well. This comes out on the 1st of December, by the way. Also coming out on the 1st of December is Twin Mirror. This game reminds me of a Quantic Dream game, I think, or maybe a Remedy game to a degree as well. Very, very cinematic, and I'm seeing a lot of choice-based stuff in here. I didn't know this game even existed until I started doing research for this video, but the game looks really solid. The storyline here, it says, the game is a psychological thriller with the main character Sam Higgs returning to his childhood town for his best friend's funeral. It quickly becomes obvious that this little West Virginia town holds numerous dark secrets. The former investigative journalist will employ his deduction skills to uncover the mysteries surrounding the city and its inhabitants. Seems like a really solid game. I don't know what Twin Mirror is based on or anything like that. I have no idea if this is like a series or something like that, but if it is, I've definitely been sleeping on it and I missed out on knowing about this. Game looks neat. It reminds me a ton of like, yeah, it does remind me of a Remedy game actually. Now that I look at it, I'm thinking, I'm getting some Alan Wake vibes and I'm getting some Control vibes from this game. So, you know, this has potential to be a really neat game as well. It's coming out on the 1st of December, so it comes out like pretty much in a couple of days time. Next up on the 3rd of December, we have Immortals Phoenix Rising. This is the Ubisoft game. I think it used to be called Gods and Monsters, but that's now changed to this. The game appears to be an open world, third person, mythological, I guess hack and slash style game. A lot of people have compared it to Zelda Breath of the Wild, being an open world game, dungeon crawling type experience as well. I haven't played this game, I haven't seen a ton of detail about it, but in doing research for this video, a lot of the previews for this game have been incredibly positive, which I probably wouldn't have expected. I actually, after watching these trailers for it as well, I'm way more excited for this game too. I didn't realize this is what it actually was, but it looks good. The game looks really, really solid. It actually does look like Legend of Zelda on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, mixed with, I guess, like some Assassin's Creed Light style elements from maybe Assassin's Creed Odyssey in here as well. On the 4th of December, we have Dragon Quest XI-S. I want to say it like that. This game came out on PlayStation 4 a couple of years ago, and then they re-released it as an enhanced version, S edition basically, on the Nintendo Switch last year. That came with a bunch of additional content. They kind of do that with these Dragon Quest games. They release an S edition or a special edition or a complete edition, essentially, with more content in it. Now this is finally coming to PlayStation 4 as well. I played this game on the PS4, and then I played a little bit of it on the Switch as well. This is a really good game. This is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, JRPG game that came out on the entire PlayStation 4 generation. I know, it's a big call. This is a really fun traditional turn-based JRPG. One of the cool things they did in this one is they added an entire 8-bit or 16-bit mode into the game where you can play the entire game like that. So you can experience the game in the current form in the 3D graphics, and then in this like old school SNES format as well. It's just a really neat detail that they added to the game. I love it when developers go that extra mile to push their games game to that next level for a new audience or for the current existing audience. It's just a neat feature. It really shows how much they care about the game that they're producing. This franchise is phenomenal as well. There's been so many great Dragon Quest games. If you haven't played a Dragon Quest game, this is actually not a bad one to jump into as well. It doesn't continue the storylines, very similar to Final Fantasy in that you can pick up any of them and play them. I know it is very traditional in terms of JRPG mechanics, but it's a game that like allows you to kind of get your head around them without too much trouble as well. So I would say if you're anxious about that, don't be. It's very accessible and worth checking out. Next we have Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. This is coming out on the 8th of December. This is coming out 2 days before Cyberpunk. I don't know. I don't know who's going to be picking us up like 2 days before Cyberpunk, but Puyo Puyo Tetris, puzzle game mixing Puyo Puyo and Tetris together. This came out originally on the first version of this came out on the Vita and the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch. Fun game. If you like Tetris or Puyo Puyo, it mixes both the things together. Play them separately, you play them competitively against each other, and then you play them combined. It's cool. It's a great game. Really fun puzzle game. Do recommend checking this one out. Now the one that everyone knows about, this is Cyberpunk 2077. This comes out on the 10th of December, unless it got delayed again. It's got delayed again. I'm not editing this video again, so that's just how it is. The open world, first person Cyberpunk style game or future style game. This is, touted to be one of the most anticipated games of the PlayStation 4 generation, or to see the end of the PlayStation 4 generation out. Obviously CD Projekt Red developing it, the guys behind Witcher 3, which was one of the best Western RPGs that came out this entire generation as well. Probably one of the best Western RPGs ever made. This game looks great. I've been a little bit negative about this game on the channel just because I'm frustrated by all the delays for it, and I'm kind of just like, show me it when you're ready to show me it, but stop talking about it. I think they announced this game way too early, but I'm very excited to finally get my hands on it. The trophy list for this obviously went live a couple of weeks ago as well, and we talked about that on the channel. There's not much more to say about this. I've probably just been avoiding the trailers and stuff as much as I can because I don't want to have this game spoiled for me for launch. And the last game for December is Override City Brawl 2. Now this was a game that came out a couple of years ago on the PS4. Override was kind of a budget game developed by Modus, and it reminded me a lot of City of Monsters, or Clash of Monsters I believe it was called, that came out on the PS2. You battle in these giant mech suits. It was just a neat budget game. I had a lot of fun with the first one when it came out. It had a really cool online mode. It had a really cool single player component to it as well. Obviously the game did well enough for them that they were able to go back and make a sequel to it, which kind of surprised me if I'm being honest, but neat to see that they went away and did that. And this game looks really solid. The game looks like they've improved on a ton of stuff. The graphics look really nice, but it looks like it still captures that sort of mech city, not mech, that's the name of the game, monster brawl sort of vibe to it, except they're all in robot suits. It'd be cool if there was actually monsters in here too. But yeah, neat little brawler game. It's coming out like 2 days before Christmas and after Cyberpunk and after everything else for the year. So I don't know how this one's going to go for these guys, but if you're into this sort of style of game and you're looking for something to play over Christmas and it's not Cyberpunk because you're probably still playing Cyberpunk, then this could be for you. Anyway, those are 7 games coming out for December 2020. The last 7 sort of major releases for this year, sadly, and that's sort of the end of 2020 for us now, which is kind of weird to say, believe it or not. Hopefully 2021 has a ton of awesome releases in it as well. I'll be back with the same kind of video like this in January, looking at the new games in January, although I imagine they're probably scarce. Anyway, let me know if you're going to be picking any of these games up in December. Are you interested in any of these? I mean, apart from Cyberpunk. I mean, you're going to be playing Cyberpunk, right? Let me know if you're going to be picking up anything else in December. Curious to know. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.